Welcome to Idiomas UCO Virtual. Today we're going to talk about the passive voice. So the agenda, we'll look at when to use the passive voice, the structure of the passive voice, differences between the active voice and the passive voice. We'll also see some examples and try some exercises at the end of the presentation. So what is the passive voice and why do we use it? Well, in English we use it a lot in things like the news, notices, or especially in formal English. We use it to give emphasis or importance to a personal object that experiences an action, rather than the personal object which performs the action. Therefore, the subject of the sentence becomes the most important thing in the sentence. Let's look at the structure. Now, the sentences below are all in the passive voice. Notice how they all pay more attention to the personal object that is experiencing the action, rather than the person or the object that performs the action. For example, the house is cleaned every day. This is the present simple. First we put the subject, then the verb to be, conjugated correctly, then the past participle, and then the rest of the sentence. In the past simple, it would be the book was written by Cervantes. Present perfect, the school has been built already. Or future, the mall will be opened tomorrow. So active versus passive, let's look at some examples. Below on the left-hand side, we can see sentences written in the active voice. On the right-hand side, we can see the same sentences transformed into the passive voice. Notice how the objects in all of the first sentences become the subject of the second sentences. Let's look at them one by one. For example, William Shakespeare wrote Romeo and Juliet in 1591. In passive voice, that would be Romeo and Juliet was written in 1591 by William Shakespeare. Active voice, workmen are repairing the road. In passive voice, that would be the road is being repaired by the workmen. Thieves stole my car. Active voice. In passive voice, my car was stolen by thieves. Now let's try some exercises. Try to rewrite the following sentences using the passive voice. She paints the house every year. He makes fresh cakes every day. A French architect designed the building. J.K. Rowling is writing another Harry Potter book. And people saw aliens in Rio Negro last week. Now let's look at the answers. She paints the house every year. In passive voice would be the house is painted every year. He makes fresh cakes every day becomes fresh cakes are made every day. A French architect designed the building becomes the building was designed by a French architect. J.K. Rowling is writing another book, a Harry Potter book, becomes another Harry Potter book is being written by J.K. Rowling. And people saw aliens in Rio Negro last week becomes aliens were seen in Rio Negro last week. Notice how we change the verb to be depending on the tense. Thank you for watching. See you in our next class.